the other way, a 2-on-1. Corbin Almen, right side, shoots, score! First career Western Hockey League goal for Corbin Almen. Grab that puck! Behind the net, Jackson Vaughan. Back to the line, Krestanowich, wrist shot, score! It's another first career WHL goal tonight. This time it's Eric Krestanowich. Arden back, hands it up the boards, not out. The centering pass went off Vaughan, rebound in front, backhander, score! Have yourself a night. Corbin Almen with his second. Armstrong along the boards, tied up by Howe. And the puck is cleared out by Vaughan to the empty net. He scores! First of the season for Jackson Vaughan.
Welcome to Pat's Cast, the unofficial Regina Pat's podcast. It's October 29th. It's episode 149. It's Chris here, Kevin there. How are we tonight, Kevin?
Not too bad. It was a little interesting weekend of games. But, yeah.
It was.
We were hoping for at least a split, and hey, we got a split.
Yeah, two tough teams.
Two very, very tough, talented teams.
Yeah, and we've seen what the West brought out. The best of the West came to town, and they showed what they got tonight here, Sunday.
Yeah, the firepower they've got, and the grit, and the dirt that they bring. Yeah,
the full package. Yeah. All right, well, let's go back to Saskatoon first. We've seen Saskatoon a couple times now. There's kind of been, I don't want to say blowouts, but they haven't been close games both ways, a win and a loss for the Pats against Saskatoon.
Very, very up and down, like one game good, one game not.
Yeah, right.
Especially in Saskatoon. Oof.
Yeah, well, the Pats kind of capitalized on a shorthanded Saskatoon team at the start of the year. And then Saskatoon basically had their full roster in the second game, and they showed what they can be. And Saskatoon basically had their full roster. They were missing Molendyke. I mean, I don't think one player makes or breaks your team. But I don't know. But it didn't seem like
he drives their offense.
I think so.
From the back end.
Yeah.
And they were clearly lacking something on Friday.
But they have enough guys there. They have enough guys that can score, right? Like they didn't seem quite right, did they?
No, they seemed a little off, all the way like from top to bottom. Like even Elliott made some good saves. He was still top-notch goaltending, but I'm sure there's a couple goals he'd like to have back. I'm sure the defense would like to have a couple opportunities back for them too. So yeah, but the Pats capitalized.
They did.
And they needed to do that, and it was an impressive game, especially from the kids.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the story of this game here. The kid line, Mushimansky, Almen, and Jackson Vaughan, they were clearly the best line out there that night.
By far. Both teams, they were just all over Saskatoon. Yeah,
and not to jump ahead, but they had some flashes even tonight against Prince George, where there wasn't much offensively for the Pats at all in that game, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, another thing is they killed the penalties. Like the Pats didn't even get a power play opportunity, and they still score 5 goals in this game.
That's wild, especially for a team that's, I don't know,
kind of the offensive.
The super scoring.
Yeah.
But 5 goals against a solid, 4 goals against a solid goalie, solid team.
That's true.
The empty netter,
and the empty netter, yeah.
Still 4 goals against Saskatoon when Saskatoon averages like less than 2 goals against the game. They were averaging
right on 2.
Yeah.
So.
But when Elliott comes into the game with like a 154 goals against average, and the Pats put up 4 against him, that's impressive, regardless of who scored.
Yeah, and they were only the Pats were able to kill 3 out of 4 penalties, so that was good because, like I said, they didn't even get a power play opportunity.
They didn't even get a sniff. Saskatoon didn't get a penalty to the very end of the game.
Yeah. The Pats kind of got lucky on the Howe goal. I don't know if say lucky, but I don't know, the replay that we seen in-house didn't look like the puck went over the line, or that we could see the puck in the net, and then they went to review and they talked about it, and we're like, they're talking a lot for a no goal, confirming a no goal, and all of a sudden they called it a goal, and I was like, oh, okay.
But yeah, they didn't really show the replay that much. Like, they showed it a couple times on the big screen, but
and there's nothing there. No,
you could see where the puck was at one point in time, and then all of a sudden it disappeared.
Well, you can't.
It looked
see
like he swiped it one way, but it looked like it might have went underneath him. So I don't know if access was there, maybe access.
But it had a better replay.
Those guys would have had they would have had way better angles, and you would have seen the video replay guys running. I was like, did that go in?
So I don't know what video replay angle they had to actually see the goal or the puck go in the net, right? Let's call it a goal, because it's got to overturn a call. You have to have undisputable evidence, right?
Yeah. Did the referee actually wave it off, or did he just kind of wave his arms? I can't remember. Did he's like, whoa, I didn't see it?
Well, usually they make a call, right? And I think they said no goal, and the Pats are pretty adamant about it. But then again, you look at later in the game, and Saskatoon thought they had a goal, and the ref waved it off, no goal, and they didn't even review it. So actually,
I think because after the game when you were down doing the media stuff, I could hear Les talking. He was talking to one of the coaches. I think it might have been Sonny, but I wasn't sure exactly which coach. But I could hear him talking about
this post game interview, right?
Yeah, he was talking to one of the coaches on the headset, and I could hear him ask if he thought one of the Pats defensemen covered the puck in the crease with his hand, and that's what they were arguing about. So apparently the puck didn't go in, but they were complaining about a puck being covered. But I couldn't hear what the coach said, so it would be
obviously
to hear what their opinion was. But that's what Les was talking about on the radio after the game.
Oh, okay. All right, that's interesting.
I forgot to tell you that tonight.
So, well, I mean, a little bit of luck there. And I mean, the Pats played a solid game, right?
Yeah. And led by the kids.
Yeah, right. So, Almen with one, his first. And then you get Krestanowich his first right after that. And then Almen gets a second one. And then I can't remember at what point in the game he had another great opportunity, but it went off the knob or the shaft of Elliott's stick.
The second period.
Again, it was in the second. That's right.
Middle of the second.
So
not too long after his second goal.
Yeah, so you almost had three in a period. So they get those three, and then Saskatoon responds, right? They get a couple back. So you're going, yeah, right into the third period, up a goal. But then Howe gets
Saskatoon's Hudson Giveaway scored his first career goal too. So congrats to him.
Yeah,
but his goal was that bank shot off of Pine's back.
Yeah, that's
Pine kind of got twisted a little bit, and he just banked it off his back. It's like
that's a smart play, right?
100%.
Yeah,
for a 17 or I think he's 16, for a 16-year-old to think of that, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no,
and then
definitely.
Armstrong with the power play goal, where he ripped it by Pine.
Yeah, that was a nice one by Armstrong. We've seen his shot before, obviously, and he's got flashes, and like he's got a little bit of momentum. You know, he had a hat trick in Wenatchee right before he got traded to Saskatoon.
Didn't he have like a 5-point game that game or something?
Possibly, yeah. Player of the week, WHL Player of the week.
And then he got traded the next day.
Yeah, right. So, good to see him back, and he's doing all right. Yeah, Kibblewhite is a 16-year-old, so good for him. And then, Lisowski gets one real late there, and then it's real tight with a minute to go, and then 30 seconds, I think it was 30 seconds to go, and there's a draw in the defensive end there for the Pats, and you got Howe, Barnett, and Jackson Vaughan out there. Like that's an interesting trio. Yeah,
they're really putting a lot of not pressure, but they're putting a lot of hopes in Vaughan, and he's actually stepping up, killing penalties. Just I don't know. He's kind of taking
that next step.
Taking the next step, taking a little bit of a Whitehead spot.
Yeah, for sure. Well, they've got him in center.
He may not have the offense. Well, Whitehead really didn't have much offense until this year either. So
it's true. Yeah.
But Vaughn's taking a lot of key face-offs, and he's doing some penalty killing and stuff. I like it. I really like the fact they're getting these young guys involved.
Yeah, and we'll hear from Brad about Jackson. I asked him about him, and then we interviewed Jackson, and then Corbin and Aaron as well. So first goal guys.
Corbin Almen.
Or what did I say?
Yeah, you said Corbin, but Corbin Almen, just so people know.
Yeah, right. Not Corbin Vaughan. Yeah, Corban, not Corbin.
Corban.
Yeah. We got those interviews coming up. What else do you get from this game? I mean, it was a pretty solid game. I mean, Saskatoon's a good team, and the Pats showed well, I thought, overall.
Yeah, it was a really good game, and that the Pats did their cancer awareness night, and they auctioned off the lavender purpley jerseys, and from the press box, so the numbers were kind of hard to read. So if you look at the game sheet, they have Corbin Vaughan. I don't think he did, but
oh, you just cut out there for a quick second.
The numbers were kind of hard to read, but they're actually. Oh, whatever I just said. I said whatever.
But, the stats were screwed up because
the numbers were kind of hard to read. They gave Vaughan 2 faceoffs. Like the one linesman was waving. 10 different forwards took faceoffs. 10 of 12. So like
everybody was getting waved out. Yeah, that was weird.
I don't think I've ever seen that that much in a game.
Yeah.
Just like everybody was getting waved left and right. But whatever. It is what it is. Pats won.
Yeah, that's we'll take.
Makes me happy.
Definitely, yeah. Over Saskatoon too, right? There's a little renewed rivalry there with the playoff, appearance last year. So, well, we'll go to the interviews.
Not often you get first goals ever from 2 guys in a game. Hey, how does that go down in history? Is that something that they're going to remember?
Yeah, I definitely think they'll remember, their family remember. It's good for both those boys. I've had my thumb on them pretty hard, both those guys. So to see them get rewarded, to see that relief on their face is excellent. Both of them have been working real hard. It's not easy being a rookie in this league, so I know the weight off their shoulders for both of them is going to be huge.
Is there really a gasp that kind of, oh boy, we broke the skid?
I think so. I think especially a person like Corbin Almen, he expects to score. Krestanowich has kind of been an in-and-out guy so far, but he's been getting better every game. And so I just think he just needs experience with him. And that's kind of, I think this speaks about our team right now, is that it's a different person all the time. We're not relying on anybody individually. It's this is a team, this is a family, and we're waiting for someone else to step up.
How about that Almen line as a whole tonight?
Yeah, they were excellent. How many offensive zone starts we gave them, and they were creating a cycle. Both those guys are real good players. Mushimansky, the kid's a ball of energy. He's going to be a hellion once he gets some more experience and gets some more playing time, and that's probably on me a little bit. But those guys in the offensive zone, they did a really good job.
How about Jackson Vaughan being out on the ice in the last minute there?
Yeah, Jackson Vaughan's kind of found himself a niche in our team. He's kind of like our Swiss Army knife right now. He plays left, right, center. He's a bull in the center ice dot. He's over 65% every time. I know people might think he's a prototypical center, but he's got high IQ. He knows his position in the Z zone, and I trust him. And right now, as a 17-year-old, he's looking for more ice time. We use him a ton on the kill, and he's a guy I can just kind of spot in and out of the lineup. He's invaluable for us right now.
His first goal of the season too, right?
Yeah, so there was 3. You're right. There was 3.
Not his first of his career, though.
No.
It's still pretty amazing. That's what you're talking about, though, right? Spread the scoring. Right?
Yeah, and that's what we need.
You said that since day one.
Yeah.
You're happy with the way they're playing?
Absolutely. I think even last week when we lost our 2 games, I think we were playing good hockey. It's Swift Current. That's just one of those games that, we got to tip their hat to their goalie. He was really good. I don't think we generated enough offensively, but the way we're competing, I'm definitely satisfied with that.
Everyone's big, but how big is a win over Saskatoon?
Yeah, that feels great. Obviously, losing that battle in the playoffs last year, we've really taken heart to these guys when we see them. So that feels great, and to play a full team game like that and beat them, that feels great.
A couple losses on the road, but back at it here at home. What is it with being at home here?
Yeah, obviously the fans are great here. They're always pretty loud, and I think even our energy just a little bit just comes from that. We feed on that, and I think just being in the Brand, everyone loves the Brand Center here, so we definitely play a little harder at home.
Brett said you're his Swiss Army knife. You're getting all sorts of opportunities, especially late there, out in a 1-goal game there. What does that speak to your game this year? Yeah,
that's great. I'm really happy with that stuff. He's really trusted me and giving me some opportunity this year, which is great. I'm trying to do everything I can with it, and I'm grateful for that opportunity. I want to keep pushing for some more.
What's maybe your focus right now in your game?
Obviously, he just switched me to center. I think I've been doing pretty good on the dot. I've been really focusing on that. It's a great way to start with the puck and start your shift. Not playing defense, I guess. So I think the dot, I've really been focusing on my faceoffs.
How do you like the team game so far this year?
Yeah, it's great. I think you see it in all our wins. They come from 4 lines playing hard, playing all 60 minutes, and even if we take a few shifts off or whatever, so we're always back at it again in a couple minutes, and it's everyone going, and we have a bunch of energy guys and a bunch of guys that can score goals. So I think we're doing a great job working as a team, playing 4 lines all game.
How much energy do you get from a guy like Corbin scoring tonight and Aaron?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Obviously, those little young guys, this one guy's over here looking at me laughing, but it's obviously super cool getting their first one, and they'll remember that forever. So obviously, you're pretty excited. I almost forgot the puck both times, so good thing I went and got that for him. But obviously, yeah, you said it. There's tons of energy coming off that. It's super cool for those kids to get their first one.
You gonna remember this one for a long time?
Oh, absolutely, for sure. First one's always the first one to remember.
What are you gonna remember about it?
To start, obviously, it's the first goal in WHL. It's awesome, and secondly, my teammate almost trampling me once he started celebrating. So,
Who was that?
Mushmansky. It was a great celebration. I loved it.
What did you see on the play there?
I just saw the winger going towards the wall more, so I slid to the middle and saw that Jackson Vaughan just bumped it to the middle and saw a lane and shot it.
With Corbin getting a couple too, right? So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You guys and Jackson's first of the season.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So was it first timers night? Is that what you?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Corbin had an unbelievable night, first 2 goals, so that's pretty special for him, I'm sure. It was a great night with the team and stuff.
That's what Brad has been talking about, is getting scoring from everybody.
Yeah,
right? So
exactly.
You feel like you're contributing when you do.
Absolutely,
something like
yeah. For a first like that, it's unbelievable. Everyone got to put their time and stuff onto the score sheet, and it helps the team win. So it was awesome.
You're getting more ice here now with a couple injuries. What do you think you're bringing to the team?
Now my goal is just get the most ice time I can as possible and keep the puck out on net, and then that's the way I'll keep getting put on the ice. So.
Do you have an offensive side to the game? You had some accolades at the last level you played.
Yeah, so yeah, U18 I was more offensive defenseman, but coming into this year, you kind of got to fill a role that you're bringing to the team. So I think my role is now this year is being more defensive and just making sure we don't get scored on.
So chipping in a goal here and there is a good thing. Right?
Yes, exactly. So.
Does Brad expect something from you? Does he ever say we offense from you?
Well, they're always not kind of chirping me about goal scoring and stuff, which it's good in the locker room and stuff. But I think he expects me more just to make sure we don't get scored on and stuff. But obviously, he's happy with me bringing stuff to the score sheet.
You almost had a third one.
Yeah.
You remember that one?
Close.
What are you going to remember more, the 2 or the one that got away?
Certainly the 2.
Okay.
2 for sure.
Were you waiting for that? Is this a historic moment?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's definitely a night that I'll remember forever, and it was just a great experience.
Your teammates happy for you?
Yeah, they're certainly happy. We've got a great team here, and the group all came together and made it feel even more special.
Who got the puck for you?
I didn't really see. I was kind of too busy celebrating in the corner. So.
Did somebody get it for you?
Yeah, so somebody got me the puck, and
good teammates.
Yeah, for sure.
What did you see on that first one?
Yeah, it was just a great play starting in the D zone, and I was able to look up and see some open net blocker side.
And the second one?
Yeah, the second one was just an awesome forecheck, and Mushmansky got it off the wall to the front of the net, and Vaughan falling up made it easy for me to grab the loose change. So.
It seems like Brad's giving you guys, especially tonight, you got a lot of ice time. Have you seen your ice time kind of progress this year?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's just the type of coach Brad is when you're doing things right and doing it how it should be done, you're going to get rewarded for it.
Are they expecting goals from you now?
I mean, I'm just going to keep playing my game and doing the things that I do best out there.
Have you had some chances before? We haven't seen all your games.
Yeah, I've certainly had some pretty good chances, and I was just able to find the back of the net with the help.
As long as you get chances, you're not in the slump.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And then they go in. What happens on a night like tonight? Why do they suddenly go in?
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but sometimes you just get lucky. Sometimes that's your night, and the bounces are just going your way. So it's just one of those nights.
And hard work.
Yeah, for sure.
How much or how important was that stint last year?
Yeah, I think it was really important being able to get up here and play some games and get some experience under my belt. It made it pretty easy coming up here and knowing what to expect.
All right, so yeah, we got one team down, one good team here. to another one. And we mentioned it last week. Prince George, we haven't seen them play, but we've seen the numbers that they put up, and they rolled
They
in
score goals.
a lot of goals, yeah. But the Pats only gave up 4. I mean, I say only. They couldn't generate anything. Like, there was no chance. Like, once it was 3-0 there, you knew that I hate to say it, but the game was pretty much over.
Yeah. They took advantage of a couple like miscues early.
Yeah.
And they made the Pats play. They made the Pats pay. And like they had 2 5-on-3s, and they scored a goal right after the first 5-on-3 ended. Like, it was 5-on-3, then went 5-on-4, and just as that penalty
5-on-4 ended, yeah.
Yeah, just as the penalties were ending, both of them were ending. They scored like 2 seconds after, which
basically is a power play goal.
Yeah, and it seemed like that one really took the wind out of the sails. And the Prince George has just got a little bit too much speed and skill and grit and dirt that the Pats just couldn't come back. They were down, and they couldn't get out of the hole.
They just couldn't generate anything. Like, in transition, they couldn't get zone time going. Like, there's turnovers at the blue line. They get the puck in, but then the puck would come right back out. There was no offensive sustained time.
Yeah, no sustained pressure or anything like that.
Yeah, like, they're a complete unit, Prince George.
Well,
like,
the Pats did have a good second period. It's just that they couldn't finish anything.
Yeah, they had 12 shots on net, but was there a scoring opportunity there?
There's a couple. But
yeah, not much though, right?
Their goalie Ravensburg, and he made a few good saves.
Yeah,
give him credit for that.
Yeah, definitely, but there wasn't much there for the Pats.
No, not enough sustained stuff. Like there was some, but not enough.
And you look at
the key guys.
Yeah,
really didn't.
And you look at their defense, like, they're all experienced. Like, their forwards, yeah, they've got some younger guys that are really, I think, maybe punching above their weight. Like, you look at Parasak, like, he was a goal a game in the school league last year, and he's got 17 goals this year. Who had that on their bingo card, right?
Probably not many. Just like Funk too, but they got 2 like superstar lines right now.
Yeah,
I'm sure they can't sustain this all year, but they've got 2 top end lines. Their checking lines aren't overpowering or anything like that, but when you have height and you have Zemer and you have Funk and Parasak, they grabbed the puck and they controlled the play. And Becker too, like, they controlled the play. Like, no matter what, they got the puck. The Pats just couldn't check them. They couldn't defend them.
Yeah, they moved it. They moved it with speed and skill, right? Like,
yes, yeah.
So
yeah, the Pats kept them. Other than the 4 goals, the Pats kept them at bay fairly well, but the Pats couldn't do that to them because they were that much
better.
Yeah, that much more skilled. They got a little more speed, I think, than most of our guys, and they got a little bit more offensive skill and like puck control, and like they get in the Pats zone and they'd hang on to it for like 3 or 4 minutes. Like, the Pats just kept them to the outside. They couldn't contend with it.
Yeah,
it's too bad, but hey, they only allowed 4. Like, it could have been worse.
Yeah, that's for sure.
He made a few good saves.
Yeah,
I'm sure
he wants at least one of those back.
He wants one back, but
maybe even 2. The first one, was that the first one? Kind of the breakaway.
Yeah, the breakaway, and he just kind of, I don't know. It's almost like he froze, and the guy went 5-hole.
Yeah, and then was it the fourth one, the Becker goal, where it was like through his glove / pad there, he just snuck between the glove and pad.
Yeah,
that one I think.
If he was a full butterfly goalie, he might have saved that, but he's the whatever the European butterfly or whatever.
Yeah,
different style.
Yeah, and there seemed to be a lot of feistiness between teams that see each other once a year, right? Like, it was interesting. Like, Prince George brought that grit and dirt, like you said. Like, there was that one in the corner. If you didn't see it, but it was Andre Becker. He cross-checked Berg about 10 times, and finally Berg just turned around and
rank cross-checks too.
Before that, though, Rowan's like, hey, so he cross-checks him, and then he turns around and almost spears Rowan, and then goes back to cross-checking Berg, and then finally Berg was just like, I'm done with this. And then there was just a melee in the corner, and somehow he didn't even get a penalty on the play.
Yeah,
like,
and Riley Heidt ended up with 6 minutes of penalties. And
yeah, he came flying in late, so I don't know if that's why he got 6 minutes, but I don't know how Becker didn't get one penalty there.
Yeah,
it was interesting.
Prince George was doing a lot of cross-checking, like a lot of cheap back cross checks just above the pants, like in the lower backs and stuff. They did
the spot to cross check. Like you can even see Becker out, because I watched the replay right before we came on here, and he's going down the pants, right? Like that's, you get it
push
above,
down.
yeah. And like there's no padding down there, right? You get inside the pants, and that's a dirty shot in there. But then so the Pats start doing it a little bit. Howe takes a couple cross checks, but he gets penalized, right? Like
exactly.
They go down so easily, and Berg's solid in the corner there holding the puck in, and he's just taking it, and he's not going down, so he's not drawing a penalty, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't an issue until he turned around and started retaliating. Then there was penalties, right? So
before that, we got to talk about the Bash brother on defense, Corbin Vaughan, and that hit. Whew.
On Funk, or who was it on?
I can't remember who he hit, but all I know is Funk jumped in and went after him, and Vaughan
worked him. Yeah,
Vaughan laid it into him. What's funny is that Jackson was out there too, and just as soon as Funk grabbed Corbin, Jackson grabbed Funk. I think he was wanting to go, but I'm glad. I'm not promoting fighting between boys and kids and stuff like that, but holy smokes, that was a good scrap.
Yeah, I mean a 17 and a 22, and obviously Vaughan, they're solid. They can handle their weight, and he did pretty well. Like Funk left, I think maybe for some repairs.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the jersey got ripped or whatever, because it didn't look like he was bleeding or anything.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but he came back with a different jersey.
Yeah, because his helmet never came off, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think the Vaughns may have taken like boxing lessons or something, because the way he was hitting in the helmet, then all of a sudden he realized that wasn't doing anything. He started doing some body shots.
Yeah.
Which was
interesting. Yeah, that's good.
Yes. I'm really, really starting to really, really like the Bash brothers.
Yeah.
They should call one Crash, one Smash or something like that, the Bash brothers.
So, yeah, and like the Pats ended up being 8 power plays for Prince George. They didn't score on any, but like we said, they scored on the one right after the 5-on-4 ended, after they killed the 5-on-3 portion of it.
Prince George had 2 partial 5-on-3s.
Yeah.
What was like 30 some seconds? The other one was almost like a minute.
Over a minute, yeah.
Minute and a half almost. So
yeah.
Got to give the props to the penalty kill. The penalty kill did really well.
Yeah.
Kept stuff outside. They blocked some shots. Carson Haynes blocked a couple shots right in a row. I was like, oh man, he got hurt, but he stayed in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's nice that they're able to do that. And I think they kept it close. They just didn't have the offensive push back.
Yeah. Yeah, like we said last week, the penalty kill has been strong, and you look at it this week, it's 1 power play goal against in 12 opportunities, right?
That's what more can you really ask for other than perfect? But
yeah, but you didn't score any power play goals. Unfortunately, you didn't have a chance in Saskatoon, and you had 4 chances against Prince George, but there wasn't much there either, even on the power play.
Yeah, the PG penalty kill is very aggressive, and like they were really all over the Pats, and like they didn't really have like. No offense to Berg, like this is nothing. This is not a knock against Berg. It's just he's not the power play quarterback, not a guy that moves the puck like a Svozil or like a few years ago like Hobbs and those kind of guys that really can control the offense. I'm sure Berg's going to get there, but it just like they couldn't.
Yeah, they just couldn't get anything.
Anything sustained. Like there was no sustained anything. But hey,
it is what it is. It's one game.
They went 1-2 or 1 for 2 this weekend, which is
just fine.
Really good because, hey, 2 top end teams.
Yeah.
I think weren't they both classified as top 10 in the CHL? So I know Prince George was, but I can't remember if Saskatoon is. But
I would think so.
Everybody's so close. It's really hard to say.
Yeah, like Saskatoon is now, what do they say? I guess Saskatoon's 8-5. Did they lose again on the weekend as well? Or not? Did they lose on Saturday? Yeah, they lost on Saturday as well.
Oh yeah.
So they were 8-3 Now they're 8-5, so they're down to 7th. But I mean, 8-5.
Between first and ninth in the division, it's like 6 points.
Yeah, it's 6 points. Yeah,
or at the conference, not the division.
Yeah,
But
the
it's
conference.
6 points. Like,
Yeah, Saskatoon loses 2 games on the weekend. They were probably 3rd or 2nd, and now they're down to 7th.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So like nobody's taken the real lead yet. I'm kind of curious what team is gonna like go all in. I know Saskatoon's picked up Seatman on defense, and I know Moose Jaw's picked up Sherman and Parker. Who's gonna make the next big move? Who's gonna try to pick up, like, I don't know, guys from the Blazers, or who knows, right?
Yeah,
Like,
well,
it's-
Fraser Minton just came back from Toronto to the Blazers. Like, he's gonna be like, they're gonna be holding him
hot
ransom.
commodity, yeah.
Yeah,
And well, who knows with the Pats? There's a certain number 91 from last year that's in Hershey that hasn't touched the ice in a regular season game yet.
yeah. So that's interesting. Yeah, let's talk about that since we brought it up. I mean, you know, everybody's like, is he coming back or what's happening? And then we look into it. He hasn't played a game yet. That's wild, and we haven't heard. You know, is he injured? Doesn't seem like he's injured. So
No, apparently he's not, because there's people on the site that's formerly known as Twitter, now X, or whatever you want to call it, and people are asking the Hershey media and stuff like that, and nobody seems to give an answer, and he's definitely not injured. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on there.
yeah, so to see a guy on a pro team not playing whatsoever, and he's still eligible to come back here. I mean, he could go back to Europe too. Like, I doubt that would happen, but I think he could still go back there.
Yeah, but I don't think they'd want him to go back there.
No,
But if you look at Hershey's roster, they have 17 forwards. What do you do with 17 forwards when you can only dress 12?
Yeah, and they just won the championship, so it's like they've got a good team, right? It's not like they're a terrible team that they want to bring in some young guys and get them experience.
Yes, especially a 19-year-old that's not really known for the defense.
Yeah, he's an offensive guy
like
only,
a very,
kind of
very
thing.
offensive guy, and like he wouldn't fit on a team playing like a 3rd or 4th line role.
No.
There's no point.
He's a top 6 guy. Like he's not going to be killing penalties. He's not going to be out there.
So what happens? Does he come back? Does he come back to the Western Hockey League? Like, what happens? Because they have the option to send him to the ECHL. They have, like you
I
said,
don't think.
They could send him back to Europe, but does he want to go back to Europe?
Does the team want him? Does Washington want him to go back to Europe? I wouldn't think so.
Does the team want him to come back to Regina? Does the team want him to come back to the Western Hockey League? Like, there's lots of what ifs.
Definitely.
It's interesting because like Hershey's played how many games have they played?
I don't have it up.
7 or 8, something like that, I think.
Okay.
And like he hasn't seen the ice.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
they played 8 games,
8.
and he has not seen the ice yet. So
Yeah, that's
I don't know what to think about that. I'd like to see him come back, but I don't know how well he'd fit with this roster. So if he does come back, I wouldn't be surprised. If there's the big if, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets moved. That would be my guess. If he comes back.
Yeah, for sure. Right, like that'd be a huge chip.
Yeah,
to sell.
They got to get some draft capital back. Al Miller keeps on talking about draft capital, and like I said, if he does come back, which I don't know, the Hershey's played 8 games and he hasn't touched the ice yet.
Yeah, we've got no inside knowledge. Nobody knows anything. So
Nobody knows anything.
We're just drawing
We're spitballing here.
Yeah, right. When you see a pro player not playing whatsoever, and he's got junior eligibility, you know,
and he's got to play. Like you can't just have a 19-year-old not. Yeah. A 19-year-old practicing and not playing.
No.
You can't.
That's
he's got to
prime
play
development years right there.
Exactly. He's got to play somewhere.
Yeah.
And
coming back to the WHL isn't a bad thing. Coming back,
he's only 19. It's not like he's an overage guy that.
Well, we've seen overage guys come back, like Rice Abbey, you know. So
Kelowna's captain, I can never say his name.
Gabriel S.
Gabriel. However you pronounce it.
Yeah, he's another one that's
he's another 20 that he's back, and he's an import. So
yeah, both import 20s coming back that are signed. So
yeah, but the fact that Suzulev is only 19,
Yeah.
Like, what are they thinking? Like, I don't know what they're thinking. Maybe they're hoping that the Pats will trade his rights. I don't know. Like, it's just it's almost baffling that they played 8 games. He hasn't dressed for one.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, not dressed. Like, that's bizarre. They have 4 players that haven't played yet.
Yeah. Right.
According to Elite Prospects, they've got Matthew Strome, Dmitry Osipov, Suzdalev, and Julian Napravnik. None of them have dressed, so they've got a lot of players. 24 guys have already played, so I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're thinking. But yeah.
All right. So other roster news. I mean, Temple going to under 17s, so he's going to miss 6 games here. So that now they're going to be short, so they're going to have to call somebody up, obviously, and with Whitehead out long term.
Yeah, with Whitehead out 6 to 8 or however long he's out for, yeah.
Yeah, so we got, I think obviously the most popular thinking would be Zacharias would be coming up. There's also Stinton, the 16-year-old. He could come up. Maybe they bring both guys at different times. Zacharias plays a couple, Stinton plays a couple, because they're both close. Zacharias and Saskatoon.
And they got Kuzma. Notre Dame,
and then the 15s, Kuzma, Klassen, Lansard, if they want to bring those guys in. Like you said, Kuzma's close in Notre Dame, so so that'd be interesting. Somebody's got to come up for sure.
Yeah, definitely, because they don't have enough. They don't have enough bodies. I guess if they want to go 11-7, but I don't see that.
No, when you've got
that doesn't make sense.
When you've got bodies to bring in,
especially when Brad plays, he does roll 12 forwards most times. I know he shortens the bench here and there, but he does tend to roll 12 though, like all 4 lines. So they're going to have to bring somebody or somebody's in during the next 2 weeks or whatever it is.
Yeah, well, we'll see somebody for Wednesday, I'm sure, in the upcoming game, because Temple will be gone right away here.
And will they call him up just to have them for like the whole week to practice, or are they just going to call him up
for a game
for the games?
In and out.
I think it would make more sense if they could call them up for like the whole week or whatever, like to give them a chance to work into the system and try to figure out a role.
Definitely.
Because where does Zacharias fit on a line? Like they already got their grind line, they got the kid line. So who takes Temple's spot? Temple's the top 6. They take Temple out. Who goes into that spot?
I mean, Zacharias is an offensive guy. Maybe he fits in. Maybe he doesn't. You don't know, right?
Yeah, but I'm just trying to thinking like, does Vaughan move up into Temple's spot in the top 6?
I think they kind of like Vaughan at center. Temple's not really taking that many draws. He's more playing the wing, right? So
but
no, for sure.
Because if they were to put Vaughan on like the second line or whatever, then they can move Spencer to the wing or move Spencer up to the top line and have Howe play the wing or whatever they do.
Yeah,
but it'd be interesting.
You look at it, the lines have stayed the same, quote unquote, when the game starts, but they've been in a blender once the game gets going here, especially tonight.
Tonight. But Friday night the lines pretty much stayed the same until the end. I don't know where. Like I'm guessing whoever they call up will end up on the kid line with Mushamansky and Almen, and they'll make that the new kid line with another kid.
Yeah,
because I'm assuming that
Vaughan would get the promotion a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but then again, who knows? Like that's probably one of the reasons that I'm assuming they'll call someone up early in the week to get them practicing to figure out where everything fits. Because do they keep Howe with Aremba and Chance? Because that line,
the top,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost like the top 6 just kind of intermingles the top 6. Like they haven't kind of brought in a guy from the bottom 6 to the top 6 yet. They just kind of move around the top 6.
Yeah,
so.
Every once in a while you'll see Michaels hop up there or whatever. But now with Whitehead out, that's definitely one of the top 6 forwards. They got to figure out what to do. Like, because Temple kind of got bumped up.
Yeah.
And now Temple's gone, or well, not gone yet, but he'll be gone in like the next day or two. They gotta find another top 6 to go in, or do they bring up one of the kids and throw him to the Wolves in top 6?
Yeah. We'll find out.
I don't see that, but hey, you never know.
Yeah. So speaking of the the next game, Wednesday, PA again. You know, it was a rough one in PA, but now we're back here. Should have a better showing at home.
Yeah, and the thing with PA lately, they're good one game, not so good one game, good one game, not so good one game. So yeah, maybe the Pats with their 6-2-1 record at home, hopefully they can do something.
Yeah, and then Brandon on Friday night. So there's a team that there's another opportunity for a win there at home. They've kind of been up and down as well.
Yeah, they're a mixed bag of good and bad too. It's this whole division, whole conference is just bizarre.
Well, we were looking at there's only 3 teams. What is it? 3 in the whole conference? 2 under 500, right?
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, 3, I think it is.
What is it?
But yeah,
3. Calgary, Red Deer, Edmonton.
5 in the whole league are under 500. So
yeah. So that's
22. It's
that's kind of wild.
It's a lot of parity so far. So
yeah.
It's really hard. Like I know they were talking about, or Alan Miller was talking about, he'll know what kind of team he has after around 10 to 20 games. What are they at now? 15 games?
Yeah.
Does he know what kind of team he has in comparison to everybody else? Because everybody else seems to be up and down, up and down, up and down. There's
about the same, right?
Yeah, no consistency.
Yeah.
Like you got Portland that's rocking and rolling in the West, and they've come and played 3 games in the Central and lost all 3 to Red Deer, Edmonton, and Calgary. So
yeah, 2 of the 3 worst teams in the league, right? Like, or 2 of the 4 worst teams. Like, so it's interesting, right?
Yeah, it's. I think there's nobody running away with it yet.
No.
And you got teams that have, like, Portland has only played 11 games.
Yeah.
And, like, Seattle's only played 11 games. So, like, I guess we'll have to wait until, like, they're 25 games in the season, and maybe then someone might have pull away with it.
Yeah, and then you'll maybe see a couple more teams starting to drop off, right? Because really the only team that's really out of it is Kamloops. Well, Edmonton's at 4 wins, but Kamloops is at 3.
But Edmonton just beat Portland, so
I know, right? So wild, right? Like Portland was is it not Portland the number 1 team ranked in the CHL top 10? Like,
I think I
think they are.
Those top 10 numbers are.
I know they're wild, hokey. They're a little hokey, but
actually, when you were saying about Portland losing to Edmonton, Calgary, Red Deer are the 3 bottom teams in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
So
all 3 under 500.
Wait till Portland plays Medicine Hat and Lethbridge and see what happens.
Right.
Yeah, it's
so
like the parity is just it's just bizarre.
Yeah, and then Saskatoon on Sunday afternoon up there. So it'll be interesting what kind of game comes of that. Is it a tight one like last game, or is it kind of a runaway like the first 2? Who knows?
But we'll see if Molendyk's back, it might be a different situation.
Yeah.
And Saskatoon is pretty good at home. So, yeah.
I know Dante asked me that. He said, because I was on pregame on Friday, he said, is this Saskatoon game going to be a runaway or is it going to be tight? And I said, I think it's going to be tight tonight. And I kind of called that one, but it was kind of a guess.
It was tight except for the empty netter, yeah.
Yeah, I thought, it's still just basically 1 goal game. I thought Regina would respond. They've looked well. They work hard. Like, I think this Prince George one and the one in Saskatoon are about the only 2 kind of outliers this whole season.
Yeah, but the one in Saskatoon was bad. Like, today, it wasn't that bad.
It was just they were better.
Yeah, Prince George got those early goals, and it just kind of, you could see just wind come right out of their sails. And I don't know if they realized that Prince George was just a little bit more offensively skilled or whatever. Like they can control the puck more than our guys. Like Michael's had how many multiple chances, and he just missed nets.
Yeah,
that breakaway.
He had the breakaway, and I think the puck rolled, and he just flubbed it to the side.
Totally missed the net. It's like,
and it wasn't even
got the puck on the net.
No, and it wasn't even like it was a hard shot. Like it must have rolled off his stick or something, and he didn't get anything on it, right? But it was just so many turnovers. Guys just throwing the puck kind of here and there blindly, and
every few games they just start doing those terrible blind passes, not thinking plays through and just throwing the puck away.
Yeah, I think maybe that speed and that skill puts a pressure on you, right? And then you make mistakes, right?
And the fact that Prince George was doing like I said, the grit and the dirt. They got that in there, and
getting under the skin, right?
I don't know how the Pats didn't seem to be able to respond to that, other than the Vaughan fight. They tried a little bit, they pushed a little bit, but Prince George tended to go down pretty easily, and I don't know if the Pats were worried about getting extra penalties, so they didn't really do a bunch of pushing back.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, but it is what it is. Well, I think with that, you got anything else for this week?
Probably not. I'd say that's about it.
What do you want to see? Do you want to see 2 wins at home here, and then whatever happens in Saskatoon?
Yeah, I'd like to see him go. 2 out of the 3.
Yeah, I mean,
any combination, 2 out of the 3 or more. If they can go 3 for 3, awesome. If they go 2 for 3, great.
Yeah, and one, if you got to get 1 for sure. You don't want to start losing pace.
Yeah, you can't. You can't lose all 3.
Oh wow. Yeah, I said I'd prefer not to only win 1.
You can't lose all 3 or 2. They need to win at least 1.
Yeah,
for sure.
Prince George and Brandon are winnable, right? So, not that saying Saskatoon isn't.
Prince Albert.
Yeah, I said. What did I say?
You said Prince George.
Oh yeah, Prince George is on the mind, isn't it? I'm even looking at the standings here. Prince Albert's right ahead of the Pats. Brandon's right behind the Pats. I guess they're all tied with 17 points, and then Saskatoon's behind them at 16. So, yeah, 2 out of 3 would be real nice this week.
But yeah, the Pats last year didn't get their 8th win until the 17th game, and that was with all the guys.
Yeah,
and they have 8 wins in 14 games this year. So I'd have to say they're exceeding my expectations. I'm sure they're maybe even exceeding their own expectations, because I don't think they saw themselves being 2 games over 500 at this point in time.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I definitely didn't.
And like I said, the Saskatoon game, you score 4 goals there on Elliott without a power play opportunity. Even like that's just another way. They just found another way to win a game, right? Another guy steps up. It was the Almen game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you had the Barnett game early. You had the Michaels game early. Almen's the guy that game, right? Like, somebody just keeps stepping up, that's what every team wants, right? You want everybody to step up here and there, right? That's what everybody strives for.
Sure. But they need some of the older guys to start stepping up. Like the veteran guys that are expected to score some goals, they need those guys to start stepping up and getting shots on goal and getting some goals. Like, this is a 19-year, like John Paddock used to say, this is like a 19-year-old league. They need the 19-year-olds to start doing some scoring.
Yeah.
You can't count on the 16s and the 17s to score all your goals. You need Vallis and Rowan and Barnett. He hasn't scored since the 2nd game of the season. He's getting tons of opportunities. He just can't finish.
Spencer's got to chip in a little more.
Spencer, I said Vallis already, but these guys, the older guys, have got to pull up their socks, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because if the offense dries up from the kids, because you can't expect those guys to score 10, 15, 20 goals. You need the older guys to score.
They're the ones that are going to be inconsistent, right? They'll get a goal here, a goal there, right? You need these 19s to be the consistent ones, right?
And
for sure,
guys like Aremba, like the most, I don't know, he's got the wheels, he's got some instincts. He's like probably one of the most inconsistent players the Pats have.
Yeah, you can't find the finish. You just can't find that finish somehow.
Just no finish there.
It's eluding him, right?
But those guys, the top 6, have got to pull up their socks. They got to get more shots. You get more opportunities. You may score more goals. You need to get shots from those guys.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, we should wrap it up. Getting a little long on even just a 2-game show, but it is what it is. Kind of get going on a tangent.
There's not really tangents. Like we're talking about stuff.
Yeah. Well, no, team's winning, right? Shows are short when the team isn't so good, right? So
exactly. So we got to talk. We got to prop the guys up. Got to keep them pumped up.
Yeah. And it's always nice to talk about wins, right? You can go a lot longer talking about a win.
Even like today, the game, like it wasn't the greatest game, but they did try to battle back. They just couldn't finish.
Yeah.
got to give the guys props too. Like the defense has been pretty solid. I know they allowed 4 goals, but the defense has been pretty solid. So
just not giving up a power play goal was huge, I think, in that, because that could have really got it out of hand, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Especially on
5-on-3s, 2 5-on-3 opportunities that they shut down. So, but yeah. Well, with that, we should wrap it up and move on. So we'll see you at the rink this week. Good night, folks.
Well, have a good one.